My name is Jiaoying Summers. Don't worry about pronouncing Jiaoying. My iPhone auto-correct Jiaoying to annoying. People also ask me, why don't you have a Chinese last name? I had one before I got married. I was a hoe. Hi guys, I'm Jiaoying Summers. Welcome to Tiger MILF Podcast. Happy Lunar New Year. Happy Year of the Rabbit. I hope you get rich and make a lot of money. Something awful happened. In my neighborhood, it's 10 minutes away from my house. There's a mass shooting in Monterey Park in a dancing studio. 10 people were dead. I was just looking at it and I just realized my husband wasn't in that part of town. I was like, my ex, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I don't want him to dead. I don't wish him dead. I want him to live and suffer and see me becoming a star. See me becoming a star. That's the best revenge, right?
Yeah.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Today is very special. I have two very special guests for you guys. I think we run Hollywood all together. Mainly Steven does, but Billy makes the majority of Hollywood, and I'm the silent partner. That's why I want people to hear my voice. So I brought my Jew and my gorgeous black superstar. We have Steven and Willie Macc.
Hey.
Yeah.
What's up?
Oh my God.
Wow.
It's classy. Willie Macc put up with his beautiful Range Rover, and then I got to the studio, the Jews on time, and I want to go pee. And Denisha, she's like, you have the key. I'm like, I didn't see the key. And then we're like, where's the key? Then I look at Steven. He's like, it's in my pocket. I'm like,
when I show up to a place, I just take the keys. First thing I do, because I immediately become the landlord.
He's running the studio now. He's
100%.
like, I run the studio, the bathroom.
Studio.
You want to pee?
So happy
You got to
to
pay.
Right.
And then
pee.
Then I saw Willie, your shoelace is not tight.
I know.
And I'm like,
unraveled.
I know why it's not tight. His dick's so big, he can't bend over and tie the shoe. It's like,
Really difficult.
I know.
It's a hard life.
Yeah. How to pole walking to get your shoelace. That's not appropriate.
People think this is a belt around my waist. It's
I
not.
know, he just wrapped around. I'm cold. I can borrow it as a scarf. I can actually borrow it in New York when you're in LA. Like, Willie, it's cold here. You just like after 20 hours, it's on my neck.
It keeps me warm during the winter like a scarf.
Yeah.
I have a friend of mine who has I didn't know that he had an enormous penis, and we've been friends for 20 years.
Mm.
And then he was flipping through his phone and showing me pictures of something, and he went right past a terrifying penis, like a very. And I was like, why is that in your phone? And he was like, it's no big deal. I just took a little picture. I was like, you took it? That's not a little picture. You took that with panorama. Like that.
Oh my God,
that's a giant. What the hell? And then it was so big, I had a nightmare about it.
Oh wow!
Oh my God.
Like where it was chasing me down the street. It was very
chasing you down the street.
Yeah, it's terrifying. This is a terrifying penis.
Wow.
Yeah.
Show me later. When he said, I think that should be like the beep whenever people say dick for TikTok. Like there is a big from Steven. Like that would be a good one. Yeah. That'd be good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just still feel like I don't know how to talk to Steven about mass shooting. I just feel like it's not appropriate. So I invite my friend Willie because he'll be an expert on that topic because he knocked up a lesbian for the first time. His baby mama is a lesbian. So who is better at shooting than he is?
Oh,
he probably
wow.
knows the motive now.
Yeah.
Can you explain to us like why that happened? I love you. Is that racist?
No, it's definitely racist, but it's okay because it's me and you. There's no racism between us.
Yes,
we've gone through so much together.
Yes.
So you got a couple of friends that get passes. Like Jiaoying, and then there's my boy Danny. Both Asian, by the way.
Is Danny Asian?
Yeah, Danny's Asian. He's Cambodian.
They are not Asians.
I know.
I'm kidding. He is. He look
gets a lot of flack from the Asian community from being Cambodian.
Yeah, he's a K-pop star if they allow Cambodians to be in it. He's so gorgeous, but the
Cambodian pop star.
Yeah,
There's never been one.
Yeah, it won't be there. C-pop.
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 That is so cute.
That sounds like a medical issue.
That is so cute if he just know what He just admit that he's bi.
Oh, that's funny. That's my boy,
bi,
though.
right?
No, he's not bi.
So he's like a straight out gay.
He's not. Why'd you go gay? No, he's straight.
That's cute. Well,
People thought that me and him were a couple for the longest because we
You were
hang
not?
out. What the hell, Joe? No.
Wow.
I was so envious of him. I'm like, you want Asian? I am alive. Like, why do you go down to
First
Danny's
of
level?
all,
Danny's not even as cute as me. He's cute for a boy, but he's not like. If you dress him up,
Sure. Yeah. Okay.
if you dress him up in like dresses, he just looked a little angry. His hair, that's the problem.
yeah.
Since we're in this realm of mass shootings, me knocking up lesbians and dicks and me and my boy, like I feel like Ja wouldn't be able to take a bigger penis anyways. Like she needs to stick to
Medium size.
Medium size.
Yeah, I don't think I physically I can take a big penis. It would just be like I would just hold it like a chipmunk with big, huge, with two hands. Like, okay, okay.
But when I did read about this mass shooting, and the first thought in my head was, please don't let him be black. Because there's been a lot of that Asian hate, and then it's been like, I don't know what the hell is going on with a lot of my black comrades doing a lot of this. Like, can I cuss on here? I guess we can. We talking about dicks on here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't cuss.
Yes.
It's like I was like, oh, please don't. And then I looked and I was like narrowing it down, and I was listening to the news, and then I heard the name. It was
Who can Chuan?
Ho what?
Not Ho. Not every Asian name starts with Ho other than mine. It's Who can Chuan. Chuan.
Who?
Chuan is the last name,
can
so
Tran?
that's Vietnamese descent. I
Who
think.
can tran? Shut up. That sounds like a trick question. But I'm like, okay, because you don't really hear about Asians doing mass shootings.
No, they don't. And that's just happened.
It's just white people.
It's
that are-
definitely just white people.
It's mostly white people doing the mass shooting.
Yeah,
They're doing
yeah.
most of the bad things.
Yeah.
that happen. I mean, if we're being honest,
No.
seems like they're the ones that are school shootings. Mostly are all white.
Mhm.
Yeah. Oh no, 100%.
Yeah.
Like usually when it comes to black people doing shootings, it's like we have out for a person.
Right.
Like we're like, oh, we don't like you. And maybe even if it's some gang stuff, we don't like y'all. But we don't just go out, you know what?
Yeah.
Yeah, it seems like the mass shootings that are with white people, it's usually that they're like, I'm angry at everybody. Like they're just angry. They're yelling and they're just angry about all the things that
All the
happen.
things.
I mean, in Texas, they were shooting the Asian woman.
I don't know why they
because
have
we are sin, right?
yeah, there was a guy. There's been a
Yeah, I am sin. Come for me. Don't shoot me, dumb bitch.
We gonna call the name of this episode "Canceled."
Really,
she says she loves us, but she really hates us and puts us.
Right. She brought us in here to ruin.
Willie's knocked up lesbians, so he can be the expert on mass shootings. Go.
Oh, wow.
you can
Wow.
talk about lesbian. Like who can do it better than you, Willie? Like I would, if I want to take somebody out, I'm calling you. I'll be like, Willie.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like that's my brother.
Yeah.
Not just because I also like whenever somebody like break my heart, that'll be the boyfriend I take. Be like to show off. Be like I'm doing better
Yeah,
than all of you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I mean,
Right?
it's hurtful. I mean, I did wear my best sweater.
No, I'll
It
take
was
you
a
too.
great
But I
sweater.
just met you. We have a long history together.
Yeah, you guys know each other. very
Yeah,
well.
but
Yeah.
I need to know.
We've met one time in person, and we've done texting. We've,
You mean sexting?
Sexting. Yes.
Yeah, I'm like he just ignored. He just like literally didn't even acknowledge the sexting. I'm like,
It was.
what? Yeah, so like that would be like the boyfriend you take to like to if I'm going to meet my ex at the event, he happened to be there, I'll be bringing this as my new boyfriend.
And I would make eye contact with your ex.
The
whole time.
He's a curly
the entire
eyelashes.
time. Like,
With the curly eyelashes.
right here. I would raise the eyebrow.
Isn't that the best thing in the world to bring you date someone for a while, you go through a breakup, and then you meet someone new and they're so hot, and you take them with you, and then your ex sees it.
Yeah, it's the best feeling in the world.
There really isn't.
And also, like, because most people are not as witty and funny like you guys, because you are like a very great. Like Willie would just say anything and be the charming, funny person, just being effortless, and then like ask like. Because they are not performers, they are not like great comedians. They don't even say that thing, and all the people at the party think he's cool, and then that makes them feel worse for being a dumb asshole, right?
And I'm the opposite race, so that really puts a question on some people too. When they're like, "Oh, you left for whatever you want to fill in that blank with." It's like, what you left to go with and it's like, oh yeah. And for some, that might be exciting. Like, oh, you left to go with a level up.
Yeah.
Some people be like, you left to go with a. Then it's like,
oh yeah, you don't want to be the.
Yeah, you don't want to be the.
I can't laugh like this. People already cannot see my eyes. Where's the tape?
I've done a lot of dating in the last few years, and it is fascinating.
It is hard.
It can be very tricky.
It's hard.
I went on 52 dates.
Shut up.
In the 3 months after I went through a breakup. I was with someone for 8 years, and then her and I broke up, and I literally went out with as many people as I possibly could. I went out with every single different type of lady I could find in Los Angeles. It was not all great.
Well,
mostly bad.
Statistically speaking.
Mostly it was a nightmare.
Yeah.
An expensive nightmare. But it was also good.
So let me ask, 52 days with 52 different people, or 52 days and then like 10, 20 or ish?
Of the 52 dates, I think about 3 of them were second dates.
Wow.
So about
bragging.
late in the high 40s.
High 40s.
Yeah, I mean, I've calmed.
Did you come?
I've calmed. Yes,
I've calmed down some.
Hi everyone, I'm Stephen Glickman. I've come, and there's
all that matters, baby.
Why do that? Why would I do that? The point being, go get out there. You gotta get back out in the world, and you meet different people. You try all the different things, and go to all the weird restaurants, and you see all the people.
Yeah.
Have the experiences.
Have them.
Before you settle down and you do stuff. Yeah.
I did a show this weekend. Match.com was doing a show for people who are now on their first dates after they were all in like late 50s and 60s.
Ooh.
And they were like, yeah, been divorced for so long, been broken up for so long. And this was like a singles mixer type thing for people in like their 50s and 60s. And I was like, y'all doing it right. See, there's a lot of people that would settle down in their 30s. And I'm like, I feel like these are my prime years.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I want to go on the 50, like before I decide to settle down.
Yeah, before you get into a long-term thing, you gotta get out there. You gotta, try things out. And then also you draw lines for yourself. You go, well, I'm cool with this, but I'm not cool with that.
Yeah, that's very healthy.
Little lines in the sand of like what you can handle. Yeah. Because I always think I'm cool. Until until someone's like, no, you're not. I have to be told sometimes that I'm not, because I'm bad at drugs. I can't. I've literally smoked weed.
The evil thing I ever did is smoking weed. I can't do edible. I do edible. I pass out.
I can't. I'm like, and then it's like I always think like it's cool, and then it's like I'll talk to someone, and they're like, "Oh, I just tried this new microdosing thing, and it made me throw up for 2 straight hours, and then I had the best high of my life." And I'm like, I don't want to be that cool. I don't know what that is.
Yeah.
I don't. That sounds horrible to me. Like I don't want to do that thing.
Yeah, I feel like for dating, like I feel like the word is settle down. It's just that when you feel like you're using that word, you should not be settling down. Because I feel like I when I have a guy, I just say I trapped him. That's how I want to use. I want the word like I trapped him.
Yeah.
And so that's my boyfriend. I trapped him. I don't want to be like, oh, we settle down and we just stay together. I'm like, no, I trapped his ass.
Yeah, you want to feel like through some sort of
he's dumb to be with me. I'm like he's dumb.
This person's way too good.
Yeah, I'm like he's with me because
they haven't figured out.
Yeah, I'm like
what the fuck is about to happen.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah,
he has no idea what's gonna come.
Right. I like that.
I think that's how
a hell of a strategy,
right? Like you with a girl you want
someone so great,
you feel like you trapped them.
You feel like somehow you tricked them into being with
you.
Yeah,
you know,
and that's how it makes sex better, right? You feel like I trapped him. I trapped him. Like if you like I've settled, you're like nothing dressed pussy out.
They said crazy women are the best in bed.
That's true.
They are.
They trap you. They trap you.
I mean, there have been women I have been in bed with where I look at them and I go, "Is this a prank?
Yes,
is this like how did this possibly happen? There's no way.
Yeah,
it's legitimate." And it's always I always want to kind of feel like I really got like I don't want it to feel like I settled for somebody.
Yeah,
that I could have just got someone you could.
Yeah, I think so.
Someone exciting, someone that you're like I can't fucking believe this is happening.
Yeah, that's I feel like that's the only way I can come is like I trapped you. Like
that's a power thing.
Yeah, I trapped you because you're a dumb little shit.
Where did that power
thing come
over
from? You. From the dumpster, I guess.
That's true. You was rescued, weren't you?
I wasn't rescued, but it was unwillingly taken back from my dad. Unwillingly took me back. Unwillingly, like hashtag unwillingly took me back. Because my penis was still missing when they took me back. It was a grand gesture of humanity and love. Oh. And I know he loves me very much. He took me back from the dumpster even though my penis was still missing. Can you imagine?
So wow.
That's why like people picture like, oh, my dad didn't come to my ballet recital. I'm like, I'm so sorry. That's awful. Mine took me back from the dumpster even though I didn't have a penis. Can you believe it? They're like, no, we can't.
So are we talking about... the time there because there was a
one child policy.
Yeah. So you were that was
supposed to happen to me. That actually just people always think like, oh, they live at a dumpster. Thing, right? I'm like, no. Sometimes we leave them at a train track. Like, don't try to assume things in other country. Like, you know everything. You are judging us. You think that's the best we can do? The dumpster?
So
no,
those other places.
No. But it is. It's
when did the one child policy stop? I thought it was still a thing.
It became like a stop, like in the late 90s. I think no, it's like people are encouraging you to have more children because of the one child policy. There's a huge imbalance between men and women. There's more boys and less girls, and it's hard for a guy to find. Like you can be a girl in China, you can be an ugly motherfucker, and then you still like, where's your house? Where's your car? Do you have 2 dicks? Like the guys can't find a nice girl because there's more men, less women.
Wow. And then there was a point where they was like getting rid of the women, like they didn't want the women.
No, because you only have one child, you want that to be a boy. So if there's a girl before
now they just have all these boys.
I remember reading about that growing up, but it's amazing that is what happened to you, and look how you turned out.
I think I turned out all right.
You turned out great. Stop it.
That's so cool. Well, congrats.
Thank you so much. Do you know that in China, if you are guys like you guys who's successful, who's doing okay, and you break up with a girl, you be seriously dating for like 3 years, 2 years, 3 years, you break up with her without marrying her, you gotta pay a breakup fee.
Shut up.
What?
A breakup fee. Like in China, there's no credit union. Nobody check your credit. To be a normal man, you didn't pay for a breakup fee. You are a garbage. You can't get a loan. Like you gotta pay breakup fee. Like, that's what's happening in China.
I like that.
A breakup fee is calculated based on the girl. Like for me, like I'm expired at 25, so if breakup is me, it's fine, just dump me. But like if somebody's under 25, went to the best school, skinny like a chopstick, pale light skin, like light skin is considered pretty in China for some fucked up shitty standard, and light skin, the chopstick, skinny, and then I went to good school, have a small face with a tiny lip. I mean, pretty face by Chinese standard. You gotta pay her a lot of money. And all my friends in America, they're like, oh my God, I'm missing out. It's so awful. I wish my boyfriend gave me something. He didn't give me nothing. I'm like, Stacy, don't complain. He gave you herpes.
But I like that because I always say, like, and even in like, the reason why I'm not big on marriage right now is because I'm like, it's too easy to get out of a marriage a lot of times. Like, you pay the divorce and you're done. Like, if Death Do Us Part was really on somebody gonna have to die to get out this divorce, a lot of people probably wouldn't get married. And I felt like they even were on some political stuff. Like when I saw that there was like 22 Democratic candidates and they just taking millions from people from each front and then they just drop out. I'm like, something should happen that you're gonna take these people's hard-earned money. How much would you still, or how would you still run? Would you still run if you knew that there was a chance that something would happen to you? Like, how dedicated are you on these things? So a breakup fee?
Yeah.
Hey.
I mean, there's laws.
It's good.
Somewhere in the U.S., isn't there laws that, like, if you're with someone for 10 years, something like that? I know they don't have that in California anymore, but there are laws that, like, if you're with someone for, like, over 10 years, you have to pay some sort of breakup, something after you guys have broken up. Like,
yeah, it's some type of, what I know what you're talking about. No, it's not Alamo, but I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
In China is very ageist towards women. Like I was 27 when I was getting married. My father wasn't happy about my husband being older than me, but he was trying to give me.
Was he way older?
Way older. He's 20 years older, but he looks handsome. My father was trying to give me away to him 2 blocks away from the church. He's like, she's old. She got to go. So at 27, I was 27.
You're 27.
Yeah, but it's like when you're 27, after 25, you're not married. You are considered leftover woman in China. Like a leftover food.
Ooh.
Not even pizza, because pizza is good when it's leftover. It's leftover, I don't know. Thai food? No, it's still good. Like, what is bad leftover? Mexican food. Yeah. You can't have a half guacamole. Leftover guacamole in China. Like, after you are 25, you're not married. My mom is like, in China, like, there's no sex education. 0.
There's none?
No, I was 14. I got my first period. I have no sex education. I'm only watching those like the Chinese soap operas about the Tang Dynasty, the emperor and the concubines. There's like 2,000 concubines want to make sure they got pregnant from the king so they can have, your worth is based on your offspring. Like as a concubine, you are nobody unless you have a son. I mean, a daughter is okay, but a son. So then those 2,000 women, they try to poison each other. Whoever is getting pregnant, they poison each other. Like there's so many miscarriages. Like before, like
was that the show Matthew Perry was on? No, that was Friends. Sorry. I apologize for that.
It's okay. It's okay.
It's a terrible joke.
Yeah.
That sounds like a horrible show.
Yeah, it just like I had my first period. I got home. I locked myself in the room and started crying. My mom came and like, I'm sorry, Mom, I lost the baby.
Oh no!
I didn't know that was.
Oh my God!
There's nothing happening. Somebody poisoned me, Mom.
Oh yeah.
They don't want me to have the emperor's prince. They poisoned me. It was so stupid. My mom is like, and then she's like, now she's thinking I have my period. She's like, you can't touch yourself. I'm like, what? She's like, look yourself in the mirror. I'm like, yeah. She goes, do you like what you see? I said, no. She's like, good. I don't have to get new glasses.
Oh my God.
Don't touch yourself. I'm like, why? She's like, if you touch yourself, you're going to get uglier.
Oh.
Like, no, I won't touch myself. That's why I can't masturbate. I never had sex toys. I can't do it. I have one. My friend was trying to show me. I'm like, she's like, it's good. I'm like, no, I just got so icky and I'm like, I'm going to get uglier. So it's just like, I'm traumatized. I never touched myself. I don't finger myself. I don't have a sex toy.
I'm sorry to hear that.
I can't.
Terrible.
Then my friend is like, if you have sex, it's also touching yourself. Somebody else. I'm like, don't ruin this for me. Don't. I don't need this right now.
Mm.
I can't think because I'm like, oh, but as of now, I can't do it. It's the sex education is so important for kids to know it's just a part of
Well,
life.
touching yourself is not necessarily falling under sex education. That's something.
But she
you
told
find out
me
with your
when I had my
friends.
period, she just like, you can't touch yourself.
Mm.
That's
Can't do it.
horrible.
You're gonna get uglier. I'm like, uglier? I can get uglier? She's like, that can happen. I'm like, no. I don't know.
Well, knowing that knowing that is false information as an adult,
Mhm.
I feel like I'm so brainwashed.
you gotta break
I'm
it.
talking to a therapist.
And without being inappropriate, without me saying something that's inappropriate.
It's appropriate. It's very appropriate.
You gotta no, when you grow up hearing something that is false
Mhm.
and you hear it a lot, it becomes your job as an adult to break those things.
Facts.
Like, this is an example, but I grew up being a kid that would sing, and I'd perform all the time because my grandmother liked to sing, and she taught me how to sing and how to play the piano. So I would sing, and then before you know it, they're trying to find outlets for places for me to perform, right?
Mhm.
So a teacher in my school when I was in the second grade was like, oh, you should be in a musical. There's musicals in town. You should go be in musicals. So then they put me in this little community theater, and I started doing musicals as a kid. And my father saw me doing musicals and singing and performing on stage at we're talking 7, 8 years old. And so he would call me the F word for a gay person.
Mhm.
And he would call me that anytime I performed live on stage, singing, anything, for my entire life up until when I went off to college and went to school for theater. And I knew that I was like a straight guy, that I was attracted to women, that I wasn't attracted to men or other genders or anything like that. But him saying that, it definitely affected me in a lot of ways, and made me feel like there was something wrong with what I was doing, or that there was something wrong with that type of life or whatever. Long story short, then I ended up getting cast on Broadway to go do Shrek the musical on Broadway and play Shrek, and moved to New York to go do it. And then of course he was like, oh, my son, he's so cool, blah blah blah, and just had to, and I completely cut him out of my life as an adult, because I knew
For
this
your mental
guy
health.
was full of shit my
It's- yeah.
entire childhood, making me feel like there was something wrong
Yeah.
with who I am. And I mean, I can only imagine if I would have been gay, it would have pushed me as far into a closet as humanly possible.
I know.
So
oh
it's
my God.
you kind of have to know that sometimes parents get shit wrong,
Yes, they do.
and then you kind of have to do anything you can as an adult to kind of correct that back. I'm really lucky. I got a great mom. She's A+, wonderful
You just
human being.
Tell your dad, I'm not a mermaid. I'm a merman.
That's a fucking Zoolander reference, and I'm here for it.
I think
My God.
I really felt like I feel like I always wonder why you are so openly compassionate about the LGBTQ community. Now I understand there's another layer other than you just being a very woke artist. You also you've been through just being in love with art. You've been through the abuse from the most important person from your life is your dad, calling you the F word. I really understand if you were actually gay, you'd be so closet
My sister's gay, and she has a girlfriend, and they've been together for, oh my God, 7 years. They're they are a touring band. They tour all over the country. And
I'm so happy she's gay. I just so happy that your father has to have, have to deal with that.
But it's pretty. I mean, they're great, and I am very, proud of them and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, like certain things they hit a little harder where you kind of, but I always feel like that sometimes there's stuff where you kind of, you have to, it's like, or like, like, I had a family member once tell me, years ago that like you're only worth what you're getting paid, and like
Didn't apply for the artists.
it does
at
not
the
apply
beginning.
for artists
At the beginning.
at any point in time. Like
Yeah,
artists do jobs all the time for
The craft.
for the craft, for
Passion.
respect.
Yeah.
I mean, what you get paid on a Saturday night main room spot at the Comedy Store is not, about you're getting paid in you're getting paid money, but you're also getting paid in the respect
Right.
of that of like being able to
The
take
status.
that gig. Yeah, that status of that gig is a big deal.
Yeah.
So it's like I kind of had to like unlearn a couple of things that I had heard early on, because you're like, yeah, that stuff doesn't make any sense. So you got to take care of yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, I need to. Well, it's. I physically, mentally, my body doesn't allow myself to touch myself. When I do, I just feel like really disgusted. I don't feel anything. So I need to. I'm talking to my therapist about it.
Well, if anything, pass it on to like to your kids, because like for me, I grew up not knowing that other races could be together. I grew up in the South. Like it was just I think it was like in the year 2000 that they broke that law that interracial couples was like, you can be interracial, marriages can happen now, because it was a ban against interracial marriages all the way up until the year 2000 and either it was Louisiana.
Yeah, Louisiana is
Yeah. And so I grew up in my high school. I went to school with KKK members. We would have race fights all the time. I didn't meet somebody outside my race. I didn't meet an Indian. I didn't meet a Hispanic person or whatever until I moved to California. I didn't even know that this was a thing. So now I'm out here and I'm looking at all these couples together and I'm like, oh, this is cool. Like, all right. So I've never been with someone outside my race because I've been instilled with all of that fear.
So Danny means nothing to you.
Huh? I've been trying to tell you this, Jiaoying, for years. But now, even though I'm open to it, I still have that fear in me. I had a dream when I was 16 years old. It was this white girl wanted to sleep with me, and I was like, all right.
And you didn't?
I did not. I had a dream the day before we was gonna hook up that me and her had sex, and her vagina had like scales in it, like lizard scales, and it ripped my dick to shreds. And I took that as a sign, no lie. I took that as a sign. I'm like, oh, maybe I shouldn't be with someone outside my race. The one time I was thinking about doing it, the dream meant this. I said, I'm good.
Oh my God, we are traumatized.
Traumatized.
I've tried to date Jewish girls. It's strange. It's great, but it is a strange situation because I never have dated Jewish girls my whole life. In the last year, I've dated one or two. And I don't know if you guys have experienced this, but first date, when you go out with someone who was raised in the same culture, basically, the same, religious background or whatever background, right? Oh my God. It's like the 30th date is the first date. Like, we know so much about each other's histories that it's like you're starting like at a different stage. So it's great, but also really weird. Like, getting to know this other person was kind of like awkward, sometimes fun, but like kind of awkward, where you're like, oh my God, well, what did you do for Hanukkah last year? Well, what did you do for this and that? And oh God, who puts water in bottles like this? Like you just start talking like that. What kind of person? This is not a label, and you just start doing that voice. Everyone, you just become elderly Jews.
That's
together.
funny.
That's so cute because I feel like being a single mom, dating, I wanted to find a single dad. And the first date is like the 30th date. I'm like, I want more children if you are worth it.
Yeah.
And then if you don't like my kids, they have to have a play date next week before we have a second date. If you don't like each other, it's done. I don't want your daughter to be a Karen because my son is Chinese. Then I'm like, also, before I leave, can you have your doctor's office fax your STD record to my assistant? I need to make sure you don't have any disease because I'm here. It means I'll be fucking you soon. So I just want to make sure it's fine.
Right.
Then I left. I'm like, oh, I'll be
That's
single
a
forever.
big concern. That's a
single
good one
forever.
because usually people's STD checks are just like, do you got something?
Yeah.
I ain't got nothing.
Yeah.
It's like, all right.
Right.
Yeah, so that's what I do as a single mom. Like before that, I was thinking about it when life was happy, when it's romantic, it's it's fun, Now I'm like, I don't have time. You don't like my son, we can't see each other.
That makes sense.
They have to play.
Yeah.
I'm looking for somebody.
Have you gotten your kid together for play dates with other kids like that?
Yeah.
Wow.
And
I've done that with my son when he was young.
Right?
Yeah. Oh, God,
It's the priority of
yeah.
our life. It's like I'm not gonna have somebody a fuck buddy. I don't have time for that. I want a life partner who is going to add more value to my life and be okay with me being crazy because I won't change. I'll be crazy forever.
Yeah.
That I know. Maybe the marriage won't last, but I will be crazy forever. And I know that. That's the only thing that's forever about my life, and I'm very proud of it.
Yeah.
Crazy. It's for forever.
Yeah.
And I love it.
Crazy. It's forever. Diamond's always hard. Your dick can be soft one time. So it's like, you want me to choose diamond between your dick? And can I have... yeah, I'm like, no, I no.
Wow.
Yeah, so I just think it's the same like somebody you are familiar with, like you know your culture, you know your suffering, you know everything. It's like being a single parent is suffering. It's a lot of shit.
Oh, I went out on this date once. I go out with this girl. We're at Yamashiro. Do you know?
I'm performing there tomorrow night.
What? Get out of here.
Eliza Schlesinger. Is that her last name? Did I say it right? I think Jewish.
Yeah, you said it better than I
Yeah,
did.
because I have so much Jewish dick in my mouth, I can say anything. Chutzpah.
Chutzpah. I love that place. That's
Gefilte
so
fish.
cool. Did you just say gefilte fish?
Masabas. Shalom. Shabab.
Wow. I mean, if this is flirting, I'm into
Synagogue.
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 Get me a roof. A roof.
Oh my God. I went out with this girl, the opposite situation. I go out with this girl. We're sitting there on the date, and I go, I said something. She goes, "What's the best part about being she had an accent, but she was like, "What's the best part about being a comedian?" And I was like, "Oh, the best part is like when you never know who's in the audience. Like you can perform, and sometimes it's something magical. You never know what it's going to be. Like I did a show once at the Improv, and Sir Paul McCartney was in the audience, and she goes, "Who's that?"
Oh.
And I go, "Sir Paul McCartney from the Beatles." And she goes, "They were like a band?"
Oh.
And I go, "Yeah." She goes, "Yeah, I heard about them, but I never watched them."
Oh.
Oh my gosh, she would be the best cast for the movie that the Beatles never existed.
Yeah, literally.
You should take her to watch that movie.
Yesterday.
She could get it.
Oh, yeah.
She'd be cool with watching yesterday. She's like, oh my God, that song is amazing.
She would not have got that movie
Yesterday.
at all.
Yeah, she'd be like, that's a beautiful song.
Yeah, exactly.
Is that fiction? They ever really?
So I go, she goes, "Yeah, we didn't really have music when I was growing up." And I was like, "Really?" She goes, "Yeah, we didn't have music or books or
Books?
computers
What?
or TV or
Books.
movies or magazines or nothing." And I was like, "Where were you Amish?"
Yeah.
And she goes, "No, you know where Salt Lake City is?" And I go, "Oh."
Oh.
And she goes, "No, I'm a FLDS,
Oh.
fundamentalist Latter-day Saints." And I was
Latter-day
like,
Saints.
Fundamentalist Latter-day Saints are a whole nother
Beast.
thing.
I got
That's-
goosebumps even
yeah,
thinking.
they have the big hair usually, and they all wear the dresses, the white dresses, and they are very like they're like super religious.
Yeah.
But they all are. It's polygamist territory. So it's like I go, how many mothers did you have growing up? And she goes, 19.
Yeah.
And I go, how many brothers and sisters? She goes, 58.
Yeah.
I go, oh my god.
Do they have electricity?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
If they don't, their dad can just burn some old wives for lights.
Right? But I was like, okay. Immediately, I was like, take a look at the menu. Let's order everything on this menu. I want to talk to you
I got
for as
questions.
long. I was like, we're probably never gonna go out on a second date.
Yeah.
But I want to know everything. I just want to sink into this date. We sat at Yamashiro for 4 hours having dinner and just learning stories about her whole background. And there was nothing in common. We had literally not one line that went. The only thing we had in common was TikTok. Because she had started a TikTok account after getting out, escaping from the fundamentalists.
Did she try to escape, or they just let her?
Her birth mom took her, and they ran at one point. And
that's a movie.
Yeah,
and you can be the Jewish guy who's dating her.
I can be
you get a panic attack every day.
I can be the producer. I can make.
You produce, and you also be the boyfriend. And you have panic attack every day.
Exactly. Yeah, it was super gnarly. It was just everything. Everything was so different.
I'm laughing so I have tears.
I did a show up in St. George, Utah, where this is where I first heard of the fundamentalists, and because they used to have this prophet named Warren Jeffs. And so I was so intrigued by them because I always thought polygamy was this guy hollering at all these females. Like, hey, you want to be one of my wives? You want to be one of my wives? You want to be one of my wives? No, it don't even work like that. So they have a prophet that assigns them wives. These guys don't even want all these women. But it's his job to do all of this. And if he doesn't, then he's going to go to hell. Right. And I made a comment. I was like, where are all the black polygamists at? They was like, it's a sin to be black. In their Bible, in the quote unquote regular Bible, when Cain killed Abel, God marked his skin. That's what it says. God marked his skin. And in their Bible it says when Cain killed Abel, God darkened his skin. So black people are descendants of that. And so they're like, well, if we're good while we're on earth, we will come back white. So I'm over here listening to all these stories because I was asking these sister wives, and they were real sisters. These sisters were real sisters married to the. I was like, what is that like? Are y'all jealous? They were like, well, we shared everything since we've been kids, toys and what. I'm like, you can't compare toys to a husband.
Is that the ultimate of feminism? Men are just toys?
Well, I don't mind being a toy if that's the case.
I mean, yeah.
That's awful.
But then
seriously.
Warren Jeffs got sent to jail because he was getting caught being paid by these older men that's like, hey, I'm gonna give you $50,000. Tell her that she's assigned to me. Right. So he started like bam, 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 millions.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, and everyone's not everybody, but everybody's basically related to everybody.
So it's literally
marrying their own daughters and stuff. Like, it's really bad.
It's a scam. It's a scam from somebody who can make money, and they changed. They made their own Bible, and then they are racist and
very racist,
sexist,
I was there, and they was just staring at me because they haven't seen a black person before. So I walked
with the
in.
boners and with the wet pussies.
Wow.
Did you have to come with the bucket and mop? Be like, oh, I got to clean.
They were so scared of me. They never seen, like he said, that there was no magazines and TVs in some of these communities. So when I walked in, they was like, Like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah, and this is
You're like, you're all in hell, motherfuckers.
and this isn't like, 20, 30 years ago. This is recently. Yeah. I went up to Northern California to do a show in a small town, and I'm forgetting the name of the town, but the guy who brought me there was like, do not tell them you're Jewish. Do not mention being Jewish.
How can you hide that?
I was like, look at my face. Like, they're going to figure it out. And he was like, no. He was like, Steven, do not say it on stage. This is a Klan area. This is a lot of Klan guys up here. This is a very bad idea. And we were staying at the hotel and performing in the hotel. And of course, because I'm a stand-up, the first thing I want to do is be like, so I'm Jewish, cat's out of the bag, menorah's out of the bag. Let's fucking talk about
out
it.
of the bag.
And I said something about Hanukkah. And I was like, you bitches got a day for Christmas. We got 8 days. We got such a great deal. And like, we got great deals on everything. We got great deals on holidays, and I'm like, as I'm doing this material, a guy in the audience, creepy, no teeth, yells out, "You're Jewish?" And I go, "Yes, sir." And he goes, "And you're staying in this hotel?"
Oh.
And I said, "Yes, sir." And he goes, "What room you in, Jew?"
No, he ain't.
And I went, "A different one." A different one. I'm getting out of, I got to go somewhere else. But I was like, he was terrifying. And I just, had to like keep doing my set. And he started, then you could just see him talking to other dudes and other guys coming over to him. And I was like, I'm going to get fucking jumped by a bunch of toothless old men with 8th grade educations. Like,
Please remember this city so I know not to go there.
I will tell you.
Oh, man,
just-
that's crazy.
Oh my God.
I couldn't imagine someone said, "Willie, don't let them know that you're black." Like,
Really?
Oh,
Really, I just recognized that. It just hit me that me and you and Steven were the most hated people in America.
That's why I thought you
we
put
should do
us
a
together.
tour. We should do a tour.
Do a tour. The most hated.
people in America.
Yeah, the most hated.
You got the most wanted, and you got the most hated.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
we are the most hated.
Oh man.
yeah,
that's
like, we
actually
go to a
funny.
city that, you don't hate black people. You don't like hate Jew. You hate Chinese. Like, you don't hate Chinese. You hate black people. It's just one of those people are gonna hate us. We're gonna cover it. We cover the base. There's a place you go, people love you, but don't worry, we will go visit you. They will hate you by association.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah. This is a weird world.
I can have brother husbands.
There you go.
Brother
Right?
husbands.
That's cute.
Brother
Yeah.
husband.
Yeah.
What do y'all feel about therapy? Like, I'm in therapy now. I just started
Same.
taking it.
So-
You been in it or it's just started?
no, I'm currently in it. 2 years.
That's good.
2 years.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I
4
used-
months for me.
Wow, nice.
Ooh,
I
nice.
see that
I was
change.
one of those people where my dad was like, that was gay. He didn't
yeah.
say gay, but he was like, men don't do therapy. Men, this is what men.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got
that generation fully did not think that it was a good idea. Like one generation further back was like grandparents.
Mhm.
I don't know how old you are, but
37.
I'm 43.
Mhm.
So we're around the same, right? So like my grandparents were like, that's not something. That's not a thing.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
A psychologist.
Mhm.
Like maybe if you're
crazy.
completely insane,
Yeah,
sure. But like they just that it was just a different time. And then my parents my mom maybe had gone a couple times. But like I love going to my therapist. He actually one time fell asleep in therapy. He fell asleep while I was talking.
That's
and
hilarious.
then I said, "Oh my God, am I cured?" And he went, "Ha, no, you're fine. We still need to have sessions." And I was like, "You fell asleep. I'm cured."
Maybe he's just Chinese.
Yeah. That's not okay. That's not. Who are you? You see a therapist?
Oh, I used to see a therapist, and then I got married to my very conservative ex-husband who is Chinese, and he kind of talked me out of it, and I was okay trying to medicate with just like looking at the people who's not doing better than me and feeling better about myself. And then I got a baby, and I had this very, very severe postpartum depression. It got so bad I can't get off bed. I'm in bed all day, sitting in bed, staring at the ceiling, thinking about it. I don't think there's nothing left for me to live. That's how I felt.
How do you explain postpartum depression? Like I've just now heard of this maybe like within the past year. I didn't even know that was a thing. Is it like the hormones that like after you give birth that like can you explain it?
Yeah, I feel like I'm always been a woman who wanted a career, and my plan was to have my baby, and then I would plan about what I would do with my career with him. But after the baby, I realized that that's it. My ex-husband changed the whole narrative. It became that I'll be a housewife. Period.
Wow.
There's no career. There's nothing because gradually he started trying to influence me. You don't have any talents. If you had, how many auditions you had? Like if you had it, you already in movies and TVs. So that's the run you already tried. Yeah. You pursued your dream and you failed.
Interesting.
And now you should be a good mom. But for me, it was never the plan. I wanted my career. I wanted to become a woman with a huge career. That's what I always wanted since I was a little girl. And then you have this beautiful human being. You want to care for him. I just feel like I wouldn't be a good mom if I'm not myself. Like I don't see myself not having a career and take him to school and reading him a book and just be happy. I don't think I wanted to be happy, just be his mom. I just can't do it. Then it was a guilt. Am I being selfish? He said, if you are sad because you don't care about your child, you should feel very bad about yourself. You are a selfish person. Then I'm like, I want to see my therapist. He's like, you are sad? You had a boy.
What?
Do you know how many women want a boy? I said, I want him. I also just don't feel happy right now. And then it becomes the guilt. Then I just realized, oh, I'll never have a career. Then you, like, I don't know, when you don't get help, you try to accept whatever is told to you.
Sure.
Would I be okay with not having a career? So I'm like, no, I'm not. I don't think I'm okay. Then you realize you don't understand you can actually get help and have everything. But I didn't know. I was just been in this for so long, the relationship. I just start trying to think. So what happens if I am nobody? I never explored what I could be. Can I do it? Then I start just like can't do it. I just realized, well, I can't be proud of myself. I don't want him to be not proud of me. Maybe I should just go. That's the first time in my life I was suicidal. Wow. Then we had a major argument, and then I just drove with a bottle of Ambien.
Whoa, really?
Yeah, I was driving. I took one, and I keep driving. Then I took 2 and took 3, and then we were at Santa Monica. I'm like, I can't die in Santa Monica. So I'm like, let's go to Malibu. I was driving, and I see this supermodel running on the beach, on Malibu. I'm like, I can never have her legs. I just took one. Then there's like a sexy black man. I'm like, I never fucked a black man before. Maybe Kobe Bryant is in heaven. I took 2 more. And then I was like, that's it. I parked my car, and then I'm going to just like take the rest and just, I think, I don't want to be the Asian woman who dies on the highway from driving. Like I can't be a part of that.
Oh my God.
I wanted to be parked peacefully in front of the ocean. I was taking more. Beep, I got a text message. Hi, Miss Summers, my tenant from Pala Vista. Sorry, it's hard. My husband lost her job from COVID, and we can't pay rent on time. I'm like, one hand is like a bottle of Ambien, another hand is my phone. Like that's $4,000. That's only like $9. I'm like, well, if I die now, my husband is gonna be too busy with the funeral. I'm gonna lose $4,000. Then I'm like, if I don't die now, I can do it 2 weeks after. I'm not gonna he's gonna spend so much energy buying me the best casket because I don't go to a cheap casket. And then I'm
Gucci casket.
Yeah, Gucci. And then I'm like, you know what? I can die later. So I'm like, well, when can you pay rent? So the cheap Chinese saved me from dying. I appreciate myself being cheap.
Oh my God.
Like I wasn't
crazy.
cheap, but I'm like, it's $4,000,
Wow.
right?
Yeah.
It's $4,000. I don't have to die now. I can wait for 2 more weeks.
That's amazing.
And then stand up
Right.
really saved me.
Yeah.
That's
When
when I
did
just
you do stand? When did you?
after the
start
baby,
doing
right after the baby, like 3.5 years ago, so John Singleton just he convinced me to do stand up. He's like, "You are gonna be a star." I'm like, "Book me in your movie." He's like, "I can't do that. Your accent." So
John Singleton?
yeah, I auditioned for his movie. He literally just like, "You are gonna be a star." He showed me Ali Wong's video. He's like, "You are gonna do stand up." I'm like, "Do I have the role now?" He's like, "Hell no." But then he just keep calling me for me to do stand up. So I'm like,
Why
I
do you
don't-
not tell this story?
I think I told a few times. So I said, okay,
What?
John Singleton's like, how's it going? I'm like, I try to kill myself, but it's okay. He's like, is that a joke? I said, yeah. He's like, go to an open mic. Then I went to open mic. It was awful, but I got better. I realized I just got happier because I was growing.
Sure.
For me, I don't want to you can't cater somebody a career. Like when I'm building myself and getting better, learning, becoming a better artist, I just got so excited. I felt happy for the first time. I'm like, oh, I'm going back to the stage. So I just started doing the open mics. And you have to, Willie knows that in the open mic community, like you have friends who does that. It's like you have to pay $5 to go on stage or you wait for 3 hours buying a drink and putting a lottery to get pulled to go. It's just like, that's kind of end of my marriage is I go home at 11 p.m. He's like, you have makeup on, you are home like late night. Do you know who do that in China? The whores and the prostitutes and the hookers. I'm like, I'm the mother of your child.
Wow.
That is not right to say. The whores, they make money. I pay $5 for open mic. Yeah, that's rest is history. He can't handle that. He's like, no, can't do that.
And then you guys got divorced?
Yeah.
Pretty soon after?
Yeah, I didn't have any child support because he's not in America. He's not American. And I have to go to China to get to sue him, but I don't want to go. It's too much work. I'm fine. Anyways, I'm happy now.
Good.
I'm actually very happy. I know people don't believe me. In China, my rich friends, they're like, oh, you have any money, family man, divorce. I'm like, no, bitch, I'm happy.
Yeah.
I'm happy. I'm actually happy. I'm really happy now.
Good.
Yeah, I'm
for
just
you.
actually happy. I wasn't happy when I have the money. Now I'm happy.
Wow.
I'm really happy. I don't know how do I say that I'm having the best life and the best dicks now. Like I'm happy.
That's life and best
Nice.
dicks.
Yeah,
love
I will be having. Yeah.
I loved watching your whole glow because I remember you at the mics and just seeing you just staying in them and like then opening up your own
Yeah.
Hollywood, Pasadena, and then you started to travel.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, yes. And then then in your career, you just see it. It's nice to see. A lot of people only see it when it's up here.
Mm-hmm.
And then they're like, man, where did she come from? Like, what? Where did she come from? Or he come from? It's like,
Yeah.
hey, you've been
The very
grinding a
beginning.
long, I seen it from the beginning, the long time. And
How
it's
long you been
lovely.
doing it now?
3.5 years almost.
Wow.
Yeah.
But I work
Amazing.
harder than most people I see.
Very
I can touch.
much
Like
so.
some people. I
You're
don't know.
very, very funny though. Like you're a very funny comic, and you've done a really smart thing. You've made good fucking business choices.
Mm-hmm.
You've built up your social media. You've put like you give respect to your socials
Mm-hmm.
as a way of building the rest of your career.
Yeah.
You use everything together. You're like one, like you got podcast, you got social, you got stand up, and then you have the other things in your life as well, the other artistic endeavors and things
Aw.
that you want to do. But you're using all of them together like a businesswoman
Yeah.
would do
It's
to
so
make it fucking work. That's how people have giant fucking careers.
it's so heartfelt. It really
Thanks.
takes a Jew to know Chinese.
Hey, we celebrate. I celebrate the Chinese.
Yeah, you eat Chinese for
I celebrate
Christmas.
with Chinese.
Yeah.
With Chinese.
I once went to so every year there's a different. This year is the year of
Rabbit.
the rabbit.
Yeah.
So the year of the dragon.
Yeah.
A couple of years ago, I was 2
2 years ago, the dragon, the snake.
Is 2 years ago?
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah. X3.
3 years ago.
Dragon,
Okay.
snake, and horse.
Okay, so Dragon was
Yeah.
3 years ago. That makes
so. I
sense
think
because
so.
that would have been. Yeah. Okay. So I was driving I was in an Uber in a tuxedo
Uh-huh.
on the way to some animation Oscar event thing, right? In Beverly Hills. Very fancy.
Mhm.
I'm sitting in the back of this Uber and we're going along and we pass by a Mercedes-Benz dealership
Mhm.
and there's a red carpet on the inside
For the
people taking
Persians?
pictures. I don't see who is inside, but all you can see because they've covered the windows, but you can see the flash bulbs going off on the inside of this event. There's an event there, and there's a guy at the door with a clipboard, and I go, pull over. I go, I'm going into this party. I'm not even invited to this party,
Yeah.
but I'm going to go to this party, and then I'll go to the other party. So I walk up, and I'm like, hey, I'm on the list. And I'm not, but I go, I'm on the list. And the guy goes, really? And I go, yeah. And he goes, what's your name? And I go, Stephen Kramer Glickman, from Nickelodeon, from Big Time Rush on Nickelodeon. I'm throwing credits.
Yeah.
And he's like, I don't have you on here. And I'm like, well, why else would I be here? I don't know. It's like I'm just going to show up to a Mercedes-Benz dealership in a tuxedo for no reason on a Thursday. And he's like, all right, it's fine. Just go in. But all right, have a good time. I walk in. It's the Chinese New Year's celebration. I am the only white person in the entire building. Every woman is in a red dress.
The qipao.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone's in this red dress. There are literally it's about 75% women in red dresses.
What?
And about 25% men in this place. And everyone's drinking. And I'm like, everyone's like kind of staring at me like, why are you here? And then I was like, let's have a party. And I like made my way around, introduced myself to everybody, had drinks with everybody, and then took a couple pictures. And I will show you these pictures. They are the funniest.
It's hilarious.
I look like a crazy person, but I just wanted to be a part of it. It looked like such a good time.
It's amazing.
That I wanted to be there.
I'm so glad I didn't sacrifice you.
Yeah.
That'd be good.
Perfect.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know why I told you that story.
I think it's cool mainly because I'm Asian. I'm Chinese.
But
And
I
it's Lunar New Year.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's Lunar New Year, and again we go back to the shooting. As
Yeah.
we're almost done with the time, right, love? Oh, nice. I just because Willie was talking, you said that why is always at some important holidays like for families and gathering. It's supposed to be time that's of love and gathering and celebration and things like that happens,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Do you think
it's such
they-
a beautiful culture, and those parties are so full of joy and
Yeah.
happiness. I just don't understand why someone would use that.
There was
Yeah.
also the celebration yesterday on the street of Monterey Park, but it all canceled because of the shooting. I don't see a lot of Asian men do mass shooting. Is he the first one?
This is the first one that I've heard of.
That's the first one I've ever heard of.
So
What would drive somebody to making a choice like that?
He's 72.
72 years old.
yeah, now that's even
That is crazy.
They caught him in a van in Torrance, and he shoot himself in the van.
Yeah, I was looking at the guy who wrestled the gun from him.
Was
Yeah.
the owner of the dancing studio?
I don't know if he was the owner, but he was there. I don't know what his participation in it was. He said he saw him, he heard some metal clanking, he turned around, thought he had a long gun. He said he ran over there and was fighting the guy and trying to wrestle it out. And then he said eventually he got the gun. He said he pointed it at him and told him to get out. And at first he said the guy didn't get out, but then eventually he did. And that's when I guess he went to his car, he called the cops and all of that. And then he ends up shooting himself. But this is why even when I was talking about therapy, I was like, there's so many people who probably need it and don't do it for whatever reason, whether it's family reasons, like how we was frowned upon, like what the hell you doing going to, like even in the Black community, they're like, you don't necessarily go to therapy, you pray. They're like, just we'll pray about it. Right. And I'm like, well, until God gets here, I need help because I'm losing it.
Yeah, sometimes I had a therapist once say that you have to remember, like, emotions don't always make sense. Like, just because you feel something doesn't mean that there's a, you know, that you can, he said emotions are not always logical, something like that. So sometimes your heart tells you that you're heartbroken, but your brain is like, what are you talking about? We're supposed to be out of that relationship. Like, thank God we've moved on. Like, but then your heart is still like aches for it. And it's like, that doesn't always make sense. Like, you have a baby, of course you're happy that you have a baby, but you know, then also you're feeling, you know, depression. It's like, how do you, like, getting a therapist sometimes is the best thing in the fucking world, because then they can go, well, this is why that happens. They can just line the pieces up a little bit for you to kind of know.
Yeah.
You know, it is true. I mean, yeah, therapy is a blessing.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's why I feel like really it's very important, because it's a majority Asian community in Monterey Park. I think it's the largest Asian population in California, in the West Coast. And for my community, I feel like for all of the family members of the victim, because in my culture, we don't encourage therapy. I think we really need to make it okay for people to go to therapy. This is so traumatic. We need people to go to therapy and be okay with it. My mom don't want me to go to therapy. She's like, you can talk to me for free. Like, but we have to, mental health is so important. The reason why this 72-year-old man, he probably never been to therapy. He's like a Vietnamese guy, probably like a immigrant, whatever. He probably never been to therapy. The problem is that people don't think it's okay, or just they judge you to go to therapy. I think everybody should go to therapy.
Yeah.
I think so too.
Even you think you are doing great. The gun guy probably think he's doing great.
Yeah. Yeah. He probably thought that he had everything handled
And
in
he
his
picked the
life
right day.
until the last 30 seconds before he walked into that place.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, I feel so bad for the families and for everybody that is affected by that, because just the stress, and for like, aside from the people whose family members died, which is a horrible thing, everybody else in that community, everyone in those surrounding buildings, everyone that lives in that neighborhood, and the family members of the people that live there, they're all stressed out. They're all emotional now and scared for their loved ones and not sleeping at night. Like, it's a mass shooting affects such a massive amount of people.
It does.
You know, it's a terrible thing.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, is the Chinese Lunar New Year. It brings so much. There's the Asian hate, but this brings so much fear, because that's the biggest celebration of Asian history. That's all Christmas. Like, it's like a Santa came with a gun, shot everybody. It's all Christmas. It's the biggest holiday, and Governor Newsom just passed this Chinese Lunar New Year as like a national holiday, not national, like for California. It's a big movement for Asian Americans, like, to get the respect we deserve. And that day, like the first day, it was passed as a holiday, like you can get off work. It's to celebrate with your family. There's a mass shooting. It brings so much more fear and to the community. I feel like the Asian American community are getting together, supporting, like, as a whole, closer because of Asian hate. But I just feel like I don't want us to get together just because of the fear and the hate. I want us to be together, just just to understand that we to feel the welcome here and to feel like we are American too. And this thing, you know what, Willie, I don't know if it's like okay for me to say anything about the gunman's identity and anything, but you know what, I understand what you're saying. You're praying like, okay, just right.
Yeah.
You were praying, and I understand because there's so many division. People try to divide the black people and Jewish people, the Chinese people, Asian people, and black people. There's there's a narrative that's gonna sell in the media for people to make stories. Like like my best friend, like we work together. He support me the most. He's black and I'm Asian. Like we don't hate each other. Like Chinese and Jewish people, like Asian and Jewish, also like black and Jewish. Like we in reality we love each other. But can you imagine like the government is a different race? It will be like a
oh yeah
the narrative.
Yeah. There was I'll never forget when I was probably about 13 or 14 years old. There was a shooting at a synagogue, and
I remember that.
And everyone was terrified, like who the person was that did the shooting. And then at the last minute, they found out that it was someone that was Jewish that had done the shooting. And I was like 13 years old when this happened. And my rabbi at the synagogue was like, thank God it was someone that was Jewish, even though it's a horrible, horrible thing.
Right.
It's so much better that it's not some other, ethnicity or race or anything, that it was something that had happened within the community, because once it is from somewhere else, it just brings so much more hate and division and fear.
Yeah.
And and I mean other types of things. I mean, you know what I'm saying?
Yes, I totally get it.
It's terrible.
And like I want to ask your opinion about gun control, both of you.
Sure.
Yeah. So, what do you think, Billy? In America,
I own two legally. And
I love it. As a black man, you were like everything I say, you add legally. That's.
But I got it during the pandemic. When I saw the lines wrapping around these gun places and they were all white people, I was like, scared white people scare me. And I was like, all right, if they getting it, I'm going to get it, because they know I'm not going to do nothing with these little knives at my house, so I'm going to throw them. Like, no. So I went and got them. And it really divided me and some of my friend group. They were like, dude, you plan to go kill someone? I said, what? No. I'm just protecting myself at the end of the day. Now, I will say getting the gun was very easy, like that test question. Like they gave you, it was 20 questions, and you had to get 17 or 18 right. There was 2 that they gave you like leeway on. And some of the questions on there were not questions you should give leeway on. Do you plan on shooting up a school or doing a mass shooting? You can say yes to that and no to everything else and possibly still get one. Because like they ask you questions on like what age do you need to get the long gun, what's the age of whatever. It's like some of that stuff. But all the stuff that you're doing, people are on their phones looking up the question, because they gave us all the piece of paper while we was in this line, and it's like, what did you know? What do you know the age of? And it was like, all right, and it was like, boom, you got it. Do I believe that it should be harder? Way harder to get one. Like you should do so many hours of this and do maybe some of that to get it. But I do believe there should be stricter gun laws 100%. But like I said, I got mine out of fear. I was like, why is every place they're either sold out of guns, and we know some of these people in these lines ain't even 100%. There's a people that I know personally that I saw there that didn't know that I was there. I was just driving. I was like, you probably shouldn't have one. I've listened to your stuff before. Like, I don't mind conspiracy theories, but there's some conspiracy theories I'm like,
like half the cast of All Things Comedy, just half of the fucking roster of All Things Comedy.
Hey.
Like, should not be allowed.
hey,
I'm just kidding. I love everybody.
One of them was on. Yeah.
Willie, I really get you when you say when your friends group realize you own guns, there's divisions. I am a single mom in a house, a single family house, and the mom don't speak English with 2 toddlers. No man. And I am actually getting a gun. And I have my lefty friends telling me that it's a wrong thing to do to get a gun. You should not do that. It's just not safe. I said that when somebody like intrude my house, what do I do? Throw them a Chinese star? Like it's like throw them a Chinese star? Like what do I do? Like shoot bullets from my boobs like Madonna? Like I want to protect my family. I want to protect my kids. I work very hard to be alive.
Yeah.
There's people hate me. I have hate emails, hate messages, and I have 2 young children. I need a gun. I don't want one. I wish I don't need to, but I think I do. And I'm getting one. And if you have a problem with it, I don't care. And of course, it'll be easy for me to pass all the tests to get a gun. Because I'm Asian, I get A+. What I'm saying is like I think like really like the gun control should be much more stricter. Like it's the money in there. People just like just get it. But somebody should not be having guns. Like you can't have kids either. Some fucking dumb ass bitches. You should not be having kids. I'm one of them, but yeah, we should not like just think about it. Yeah, some people and also like you make it illegal to have an abortion, but it's legal for a crazy person who says crazy things openly online, the thing they'll do with a gun to easily get a gun. Like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah. I mean, I'm a Canadian citizen, so I can't own a gun because of that. Like, until you're a U.S. citizen, like you can't purchase a gun. I guess. So I don't have one. What I do have is
maple syrup?
Wolverine claws.
Shut up.
Sharpened Wolverine claws. I have a samurai sword that is real. That is it's very, very sharp, terrifying, by my front door. I have a crossbow, always loaded in my home. A crossbow, by the way.
Is it Game of Thrones?
Yeah, Game of Thrones style crossbow.
I'd be more upset if I got hit by a crossbow.
Oh, yeah, you don't survive a crossbow. That's just
I can't have
just an arrow that shoots into your heart. What the fuck? Like if there's you ever hear a story, it's like man dead from crossbow shooting. It's Stephen Glickman shot somebody with a fucking crossbow. 100%. I'm waiting to shoot that thing. Just waiting. Just come to my house. Watch what happens. You get a crossbow in the face, Lannister style. I got a lot of sharpened objects. I got a lot of crazy shit in my home to protect myself. None of those things are guns. I would probably want to own guns if I could. But I think that, and this is my personal opinion, this is my emotional, personal opinion, my Canadian opinion. So take it with a grain of salt. I personally feel like America has proved that they cannot handle guns like AR-15 weapons. I think those should not be issued to American citizens for fun to fuck around with. Like if we can say, how about this? You give me 1 year where we have no mass shooting in 1 year, give everybody a fucking AR-15. But if we can't get through a year without some guy doing Las Vegas and that kind of shit, there's absolutely no reason. Who are you defending yourself from? The fucking military
Yeah.
that has tanks? Are you kidding me?
One
Do
of
you
the
remember?
guns that I saw there was this one, the one where you put two hands on with the little thing. I could have bought the.
Yeah. It doesn't make. And the thing is like,
We agree with you,
look, I
Steven,
get it. I
actually.
get it's cool. I know that it's cool. I've played GTA. I get it. I understand that guns are fun and cool to play with. So smoking cigarettes. You ever see someone with a cigarette? That's a fucking cool look. Should you do it? Probably not, unless you want cancer and then to die. So, maybe we just don't do that. You want a shotgun? Shotguns are super cool. I think that should be legal. Shotguns. But it's like, what's the different? Here's what I feel like the dumb fight of like we spit out whatever we want. I feel like what's gonna happen is if we stay with that mentality, it's gonna be 2044. And in 2044, there's going to be dudes being like, "No, you can't take our rocket launcher. Get out of here. I have a rocket launcher to protect myself." Like, that's what I feel like it's going to turn into. It will just get worse and worse until it's so normalized that people just have everything that the military has. There's just then there'll be no line between who can protect them, what we can do. I mean, it's just a very bad idea.
There's a comedian that told a joke that I agree with. He was like, when the Second Amendment was, written, it was in the age where they had muskets.
Right.
It is like, if you want a gun, why won't you go back to get a musket? We was talking muskets back.
Sure.
Pow.
Right.
Now, just because technology has gone up, like we should go back through the amendment and make it and amend the amendment for today's time.
Look, I mean,
but
on the other end of the thing, I don't know what you guys have dealt with personally with people attacks and scary things, but I during the pandemic, I walked downstairs at my condo complex, was walking out to my car. And there was a man sitting in my front seat of my car.
What?
Going through all my shit, had a big duffel bag, was just robbing me, basically, just stealing my shit. And I called the police and I said, you gotta send somebody.
Yeah.
It's about to get really crazy. And then I locked my car. I locked the guy in my car. He freaked out, starts banging around inside my car, trying to get out. Finally gets out. He's like, just high and fucked up and probably homeless. And he goes, "Oh, sorry, I thought this was my car."
Nah.
And I go, "No, you didn't. And also, you have a bag full of my shit." And he goes, "This is my stuff." And I go, "Give me that." And I grabbed the duffel bag and I tore it Hulk style in half. Everything fell all over the ground. It was my neighbor's stuff. It was my stuff. It was paperwork. I mean, things just everywhere. And then I go, "You sit your ass down and sit against that wall till the cops come." And then he said, "No." And then he just ran away.
Yeah, that's what I would have done.
Yeah, because you can't, if you don't have a gun, you can't go sit down and then go over there. If I had a gun, I could have told him to sit and wait, and then he could have been arrested.
Oh, man,
But
this is
also,
the time to use the crossbow.
But exactly. But if I'm holding a gun and the police show up, then that's a scary thing too, and I don't want to be that guy.
Well, you imagine
either.
Willie's holding the gun. It's even
That's
worse.
what I'm saying.
Can you imagine?
no.
They can rob us. There's nothing we can do about it.
Yeah, that's why I feel like there's good and there's bad.
Yeah,
that kind of stuff.
100%.
Yeah.
Like if I'm holding guns, like, are you robbing him out of a green card? Like it's gonna be bad.
Exactly.
Like AR-15 is the dangerous one, right?
Yeah.
I feel like I agree with you. Also, at this end, I also feel like most white men should not be having a podcast. Not necessary.
While we're saying things that people shouldn't have.
It's not necessary. We don't need to hear what you have to say about everything. We have a few good white podcaster, and then they can stay, but we don't need more.
So to balance it out, you got to say what every race don't need now.
Absolutely.
I think we had a good time.
We had a
was
great
So
time.
much fun. You guys are amazing. We are a good team. The America's Most Hated.
America's most hated.
America's Most Hated.
That should be the name of the episode.
Where can we find you, Steven, online? Where
Well, you can listen to my
people-
podcast.
Woo, woo, woo.
It's called The Nighttime Show. Our episode with Billy Zane from Titanic just dropped.
I love
That
him.
was pretty plain. Just a bunch of white guys sitting around talking about a boat.
I love him when he had good hair.
Ow.
But
nice.
you can get me on.
you're
I'm on the TikTok.
It's a TikTok.
Steven,
That's bad news. It's a TikTok.
Yeah, I'm on the TikTok.
Like it's a Facebook.
Stephen K. Glickman on the TikTok, and then I have an album called The Moving Company. That's
Woo,
out
woo,
right now
woo.
you can get.
And he's a TV star, a movie star,
Yes.
and you see him all over TV. Where can we find you, Willie Macc?
Willie Macc on everything. WILLIEMACC. The TikTok. You can follow my MySpace and Black Planet and all of those old things as well. But I have a podcast with Danny, my
Nice.
non-gay lover. It's
Just a
called
lover.
It's called Afro Noodles.
That's
And,
cute. That's
yeah,
adorable. You
yeah.
came up with that, right?
Yeah,
I didn't have the brain.
And then you can catch me walking around with Jiaoying sometime.
Yes. While we're walking around, you'll be picking me up, right? Showing off.
Just like this.
Yeah, like a trophy.
You see how beautiful?
That's made in
you see
China.
how beautiful?
I think the only thing that's going to not break, the only thing that's made in China not going to break is a Chinese pussy. Everything else breaks.
I don't know how accurate
racist?
that is, but
He's baiting me. Okay, that's smart. Yeah. Well, I have shows coming up. I'm in New York every last week of every month, and I have in Palm Springs is February 18th. I'm in Palm Springs, Oscars in downtown Palm Springs. I'm playing the gay 90s. Everybody's 90 and gay, and don't cancel me, Palm Springs. And also, February 28th is my 1 hour in New York City at the LPR in Greenwich Village. It's my 1 hour. Make sure you see me. And March 8th is me doing my 1 hour at Urban Improv. I see already sold 100 tickets. You have to get the tickets soon because it's going to be sold out, like all my husbands. And May 12th to 13th, I'm in Chandler, Arizona. You ask me why I'm going there? I don't know. It's a beautiful club. Macc Mania is there. They are fancy as fuck. I'm going to go there and I'll do some crazy shit. I'll be in jail in Scottsdale later. But yeah, nobody's going to arrest me, right?
No, you'll be okay.
Yeah, I just show my tits.
Perfect.
knock on wood.
They can't arrest me because now I'm a feminist,
Yes,
right?
That's not how it works, but
I support feminism.
I
Yeah.
support it too. My baby mama's a lesbian. That's why I know so much.
Yes, she does. He does. She's hot. I mean, your son, what she look like, your son is gorgeous.
Yeah.
I heard the boy look like mom's. So I'm pretty sure your lesbian lover was, she was a 10.
My lesbian
Yeah.
lover was handsome.
Yeah, that's a loaded statement. Okay.
I'm done.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for listening to Tiger MILF podcast. Have a good day. Happy Lunar New Year.